everybody, welcome to Midwest Prayer Talk Radio. I'm the G-Man, that is Deb, and you're here with us for another Thursday night of complete effery. Effing the effery.
Oh, Lordy.
Hey, at least I didn't drop the F-bomb, right? I mean, come on. Props for that. So welcome everybody out there in YouTube land.
Howdy
and on the Podomatic podcast. Thank you guys for listening to us. So Deb. Oh, guess what? I was watching because I'm a YouTube watcher. I was watching a video today, and one of the guys that I watch all the time made a it's Star Wars Theory. He does nothing. I'm a big Star Wars nerd. Everybody knows that. And there's rumors that, well, first off, let me digress. Let me tell you the full story. The full story was back a couple months ago. Bob Iger, who is the CEO of Disney, pulled all advertising of Disney off of X, formerly Twitter. And somebody, Elon Musk was the typical Elon Musk, and was doing an interview with the guys, and they asked him about it, and Elon basically told Bob Iger to go F himself. And so they've been going back and forth. You know how people with money do. And the video I was watching this afternoon that posted a clip where Elon was at some premiere of a movie with a friend, a very rich friend. And he's like, oh, I don't know. Just kind of thinking about what companies I can buy next. And he winked because they were talking about Disney. So I think there might be a big possibility that Elon Musk is going to go after Disney and try to buy Disney.
Ooh.
Wouldn't that be a hoot?
Yeah. Hey, guess what?
What?
You know, I thought we were going to have Bob on our show tonight. It's not this week. It's next week. I'm stupid. It's just me and you tonight.
Aren't you very pretty?
Oh, that's what you get for not paying the help. No, I'm just kidding. No, I just texted him. Sorry, I'm looking at my stuff here, and I'm like, no, it's the 15th, and I am crazy. Let me fix this mess I just made.
Good gravy.
So it's just me and you tonight, dude.
Okay, that sounds like a plan.
That's cool.
But
that's cool.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting because if he does buy that, I mean, that's because basically what's happened right now is Disney has run LucasArts into the ground. They're making shit movies. They're making shit shows. It'd be interesting to see what somebody else is going to do if that actually happens. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
If he does that, then I mean, hell, where's he going to get the money for that? I mean, I heard, he paid like $44 million for Twitter, and like it's worth like $10 now or something. I mean, I've heard he's lost a shitload of money on Twitter.
Currently, yeah, he has lost some money on that, but currently. He is like, what was it? Tesla.
Ooh, sorry.
Wow.
I just popped up. The police scanner just popped up. Apparently there's a tornado in Wisconsin right now.
Oh.
Yeah. You know me and tornado stuff. I'm going to have to Google up the weather shit now.
Oh, no. As of right now, Elon Musk is a net worth of $232 billion.
Well, hell.
And if I think the guy that I was watching, he was saying that if he was to try to purchase Disney, it'd be anywhere between 182 and 185 billion. But alone, Tesla is like worth 181 billion. SpaceX is in the billions. His other company is, I mean, dude is not hurting for anything. But he would probably, one of the guys he was with at the premiere with, they are saying he might go into negotiations and get into business with him to purchase the Disney thing. And I don't know. I think it'll be interesting.
I thought he was busy trying to put chips in people's brains.
Well, he's doing that. He's got a new phone coming out, the Tesla Pi new phone.
A phone?
Yep. I'm waiting on that. I'm going to jump on it.
Really? I was going to say I'd be scared to catch on fire in my hand. I've seen cars that just spontaneously combust for no reason.
It's solar powered, so you don't have to hook it up to a charger. Like if you're out on the road and the battery's going low,
See, I want an electric car. I would love to have one. You know, whenever there's more charging and stuff, but I don't know why they can't. I've heard too many horror stories about these electric cars. You know, a battery goes bad and the car and $30,000 to replace it. Shit.
Right.
Why can't they make an electric car that? I told you that's not fair. Why can't they make an electric car that, like, you know, instead of a moonroof, it has a solar panel on it? And, you know, maybe even develop a new kind of paint that acts like a solar panel, you know, that collects up the ultraviolet, you know, and turns it into electricity for your vehicle. And I also, I wonder, you know, alternators in the old cars, you know, I don't know if new cars have them or not. I know my old one did because I've changed one in my old Pinto wagon. But if you know, the alternator will recharge the battery while you're driving. Why can't they make batteries that you can recharge simply by the turning of the wheels in you know, like a kind of an alternator like thing? Between the three of those possibilities, then you wouldn't have to pay a charging station ever. Just charge it in your house when you park it at night or something, you know?
Right. But I mean,
if it's a cloudy day or something. I mean, that would be great. I even had a dream one time about cars that, you know, a certain kind of road. You build the road that has something in it, enmeshed in it, and then the tires have something in them, and when the tire rolls on the road, it creates a charge for the battery. So, you know, we could build this whole new infrastructure of roads and maybe even elevate them, like, you know, the monorail, so that they have a smaller footprint on the natural area, you know, and make them with this surface that when you drive on it, it charges your car.
Right. Well, I know they have wire guided forklifts and stuff like that, which the majority of them are battery operated anyway, but I don't know. I can't see why they couldn't be innovative and jump on that that bandwagon to where, I mean, if you've got wire guided and it charges as you drive, it'd be like that movie iRobot with Will Smith. You'd never have to touch a wheel unless you really wanted to. So I don't know. Pretty interesting.
Cool. I didn't know that. They have solar roads that also generate electricity from the pressure of the vehicle driving across the tiles. That's very cool. Yeah, I mean, I was dreaming about stuff like that. I wish that I wish we had that. Also, you know, I spent more than a few vacations down at Disney World when I was a kid, starting in 1972, right after they opened, I think in 71 or 72, because my dad was an electrician. He was trying to go down there and get some summer work when they were still building the Tomorrowland wasn't even built yet. When we first went down there, it was being built. But I remember the monorail that went, you know, we rode went through the hotel and everything else. I really, really wish that they would make a nationwide monorail system, and every city that had 30,000 people or more, there would be a stop.
Yeah.
you know, and God, that would be so great for old folks like me. Like I can't see very good at night, so I don't drive at night like I used to. And as you already know, I suck at driving during the day. So that's another story. But anyway, monorail system like that would be just a dream come true for so many people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my doctors are down in Indy. That's 50 miles from where I live. If I could hop on a monorail and go down to, Carmel.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that would be so helpful. And like I said,
Well,
up off the ground, smaller footprint. We don't disturb. Like they built the bypass to the bypass to the bypass here recently, and it went right by my old farmhouse. You remember when I used to live? It was so quiet and peaceful there. Now you hear the freaking highway. It's all you hear.
Yeah.
And it disturbed, like this huge bunch of deer. I can't remember what this huge family of deer, like 25 or 30 of them that used to live in the woods behind my house in the fields back there. And when they come and dug that all up and built that, it moved their habitat. Like if you had the monorail system, it wouldn't mess with they could just walk right under it, and it wouldn't disturb them. They could still live in their space and we wouldn't bother them. I just don't know.
Well,
why
I know
we
that
can't do shit like that. I really don't.
I know Indianapolis was talking for a long time making a monorail. I don't know if they're still doing it or if they have done it. I haven't been
any
in Indy in wow, long time.
My whole family's still down there, and all my doctors are in north side of Indy, so I'm down there a lot. I haven't seen any monorail. That'd be awesome.
I know, right?
I had this one dream one time. This is kind of paranormally weird dream. I dreamed that, and it was one of those lucid dreams, that I always have like at the last part of my sleep cycle. I dreamed that I was visiting my great grandson. I mean, like way in the future. And I don't know how I got there, but he's like, Grandma, and I was in this, I don't know where I was, in his home or is in a hospital setting or something, but I was so impressed with the toilet. The toilet, I'm serious. Well, me and the toilet have a personal relationship anyway right now. But the toilet, when you use the bathroom, whichever one, it told you if you weren't drinking enough water. It told you what minerals you needed. It told you if you needed, it assessed your health and would tell you if you needed a colonoscopy. It would it did all kinds of stuff just when you went to the bathroom. It
right.
told, it helped, it managed your nutritional needs and your medical needs. And I thought, wow, that's just freaking brilliant. I was so impressed with this in my dream. God, and I had this dream. It was years ago. It was probably 10 years ago, maybe, or longer. So I don't know if I don't know if I went somewhere and I used their bathroom and it was so fabulous or
like
what.
that. Right. I think they have something of that nature. Like it'll tell you that you have to drink more water or you've got too much sugar in your pee or
it was stuff like that. Yeah.
There we go. We both hit the show.
They have toilets doing some of those things now. They do? I had no idea.
Yeah.
Damn, these people need to get out of my head because I have these dreams and shit.
What I need you to do is every time you have a dream like that is that you need to go down to the patent office and throw a patent on that. Do plans or whatever it is you need to do to get the patent on that.
Do you know, like back in the late 80s and early 90s when I was drawing all those weird visions, those dreams that I had with those images and shapes and stuff, a whole bunch of that shit showed up like 10 years later in crop circles in England, the same shapes and things. And I was fortunate enough to be friends with Colin Andrews, who was one of the bigger crop circle investigators at the time, and George Wingfield, who was my best man when was our best man when Kale and I got married in Vegas, another English crop circle investigator. But I showed him to. Yes, I feel that way. I showed these designs to Colin, and I said, mm-hmm. I know you probably think I'm crazy, and I'm really not trying to be. And but I'm seeing this. Do you see this? Do you see the similarities? It's like, yes, I do. And you're not the only one who's had these experiences that's doing this. And I'm like, no way. And he's like, yep. And so I kind of got a little, when I do a presentation now, and I try to, I always end up talking about, 83 and intruders and all that stuff, but I try to go forward in time and show how I changed and I started having these things happen and going forward. Right. So in some of the older PowerPoint presentations that I made, I had a few of those comparisons, and it's I don't know, it's mine. There's, even I've had this discussion with Colin. At this point in time now, a big majority of the crop circles that show up in England, specifically England, are more likely man-made. Mm-hmm. And they're really good, and they've gotten really good at doing it quickly, but there's still some that are not. Yeah. I mean, these are ones that show changes in the soil and in the joints and the plants and on the molecular level and all that. And strangely enough, those are the ones that I literally have a physical, visceral reaction to when I see. Like they already affect me, and I don't even know why. Just them going in my eyes, And Colin and I had this conversation, and I'm like, even the ones that are man-made, I gotta wonder who put that idea in their head for them who made that design that's in their head. I still feel there's a finger from somewhere else that's manipulating things, with them. So it's 100%, interesting. Yeah. I mean, just interesting stuff,
Well, I mean, and I've said this before as well. When we started, we were talking about like the significance of Star Trek for all you Trekkies out there. I mean, the communicator is a cell phone. The sliding glass doors that is on every grocery store and every store in America and beyond.
Except for me, I think I'm invisible because I walk up to them. It has to be that I'm short, because I walk up to them.
You're too short.
And I'm like, hello, am I invisible? And the dude walks behind me and laughs at me and then walks right
up and down.
I'm like, what the hell?
Jumping up and down, waving your hands, open up.
I mean, I'm short.
Up.
I'm 5'2", but I mean, that ain't that short. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like Lollipop Guild short. All right. I would need to get you a big ass lollipop, and we represent the Lollipop Guild.
I'm not gonna say it, but
that's just mean. Oh yeah.
Anyway,
well, fine. I don't have to take that.
You. I'm sorry. No, I told you cannot use that. That is not fair.
Come on, cheating. I have a beautiful face for radio.
If this mug has to be on there, so does that one.
Oh my God. But no, I mean, just the significance of the devices in Star Trek. I mean, even the tricorder. There's mobile EKG or ECG machines that they have. There's, I mean, I'd like to for somebody to implement a transporter, because, I hate driving distances, but I mean, it is what it is. But I mean,
two of my favorite quotes in the world are today's science fiction is tomorrow's science fact, and B, drunk words are sober thoughts.
Yeah, I could probably get behind that second one for sure.
There have been a couple. I watch reality TV.
Yep. We still need to do a show where it's you talking about all the reality TV going on.
I am not ashamed to say that I watched that shit. And I'll tell you why. It's a study in human,
Is that what it is?
And I am studying humanity. I know most of it's scripted, but some of it's not.
Yeah.
Some of it's not, because these people all can't be that good at actors. I'm just sorry. But it's a study in humanity. Right. To me, I watch how people act. And not to mention the fact that some of these people have loads of money and they're just as miserable as I am. So it makes me feel better about my pathetic life. But no, sometimes I just want entertainment that I don't have to think, because I overthink. I am an overthinker. I overthink everything. And then I get myself, it's my anxiety disorder, my PTSD. And sometimes watching these shows that other people look down, my friend's like, I am proud to say I have never seen one Kardashian episode. I said, well, I'm proud to say I've seen every one, maybe twice on a couple of them. And, because I don't know. I just like to tune out sometimes. So I know all these people.
That would make you tune out. I'm just saying. What?
One of my favorites is 1,000-Pound Sisters. By God.
Oh my God, I hate.
I can relate to that whole family. For real. No,
I tried watching. I got through half an episode, and I had to shut that shit down.
So look, now
it's like, man, bro, no, we're not.
They've finally had some success on their weight loss journeys. God bless them both. The whole family's had surgery now. Their brother and their two sisters. Mm-hmm. Then, Tammy's husband recently passed away, and Amy's gotten divorced with two little ones, the same ages as mine were when I got divorced. I mean, I can relate to Tammy and Amy. I mean, I can relate to them and what they're going through. But anyway, that has nothing to do with paranormal or UFO. I'm sorry.
Right.
Squirrel here, squirrel there. I swear.
Well, to God, we own the show, so it's okay.
I must be. I know I'm dyslexic to some degree, and I wonder how many other experiencers or people who experience paranormal or UFO stuff have that issue. Mine is subtle. Mine is more subtle than most people's. Mine is north, south, east, west, and left, right. Mm-hmm. And I have also on occasion been known to transpose numbers in a phone number or shit like that. I have overcome it on my own. The way I overcame the left, right, the north, south, east, west one, I carried a what do you call them? Compass in my purse for 30 years. I just did it. Cell phones with navigator, that's my little slice of heaven when that started. I was no longer afraid of I had this tremendous fear of being lost. And I think that goes back to the time when I was lost a couple times as a child, which is connected to the UFO stuff. So I've always had this fear of being lost, right? So this north, south, east, west issue I had with not being able to get my bearings, that really, really fed that fear. And so I carried the compass with me. And then thank God for, navigator and cell phones when they finally came along. And then the north, and then the right, left issue with my brain, like when we'd be driving down the street, and somebody would say, oh, turn right here or turn left here. My brain couldn't think right or left fast enough to catch up with my mouth. So I learned to say, turn my way or turn your way. Mm-hmm. That was how I was able to overcome that roadblock or something. And the weird part about it is I think my brain is connected in my head, because I can put a pencil in each hand and I can write my name or whatever, draw a picture. In my right hand is the right way, but my left hand is the mirror image of what my right hand did. And I don't even have to think about it.
Oh, really?
Wow. My brain goes in autopilot. The left hand goes into autopilot. I don't even think about it. It just does it. When I tell it, that's what I want to do. But and then so in the transposing of the numbers and the letters, I overcame that because I worked at the Bureau of Motor Vehicles for a year. And I'm telling you what, if your cash drawer was 2 pennies wrong, not only did you get in trouble, you got audited by the state. And we would
Right.
deal,
Yeah.
you know, I would have to count down my drawer, it'd be $15,000-$20,000 in there just on my shift.
Mhm.
So what I do now is whenever I am have to write down and put, like when I'm balancing my checkbook or writing a check or something like that, or writing down an important phone number, I say it out loud and
Yeah.
I connect my eyes and the visual of what I'm doing to what I'm hearing in my ear. And I make that connection manually, you know, audibly. And I've learned to, you know, I'm 60, I'll be 65 in like 7 days. And so, I mean, I've learned to live with it because we didn't have dyslexia and ADHD and shit like that when I was a kid growing up, you
No,
know,
not at all. Yeah.
you know, so there wasn't any, I mean, we had it, I'm sure. I'm saying they didn't diagnose things like that. And so
No, you just rubbed a little dirt on it and moved along.
your old man busted your ass when you know,
Right. Right.
but you know, yeah. So, I mean, my brain's always been wired a little differently, I think, that way. And I wonder how many people who have encounters like I've had, both, you
Mhm.
know, UFO, UAP connected or paranormal, um, also have these sorts of problems and issues. No, I never talked about this for years and years, you know, until it started popping up all over the place and people were, I'm like, hey, I do that. Does that, you know,
Right.
I've never been officially diagnosed with anything. And at this point, I don't think it really matters. I've learned how to overcome it and live with it and not let it, you know, like wreck my life much. I
Do you,
mean, you know,
do you see this going on in the background?
yeah, what's happening back there?
The dogs are losing their minds.
Why? My dogs are high right now still.
There's
Are you being
look that
what are they doing?
roughhousing.
They're not, it's not like they're seeing a ghost or anything.
Oh no.
Oh, okay, good.
No. Speaking of that though,
Oh Lord, here we go.
um, the team that I'm with, we're supposed to have a meeting this week. We were going to the HorrorCon on the 2nd and 3rd of March, right?
Yeah, you tell me
So
about
we're going to
that.
get
Sounds
together
cool.
and we're going to do a panel and talk to people, and so we're going to have a meeting. Stop it! They don't listen to me, but come to find out, we're going to have to. There goes D.
Hi, Dee.
You missed her. We got a call for a lady that's been having some problems in her house, so we're going to go over there and do an investigation. But it's pretty big stuff that she's the claim of activity that she has going on. So it's going to be a pretty interesting investigation, I think. So I'm looking forward to that.
That sounds cool. I haven't been on an investigation since we went to the Davies
To
house.
Davies' house. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I don't think, have I? I don't think I've been on one since then either.
Well,
I don't remember.
you know, the other night we were talking about and you and I were text messaging about the diasin
Yes, the
goggles.
glasses.
How am I saying that wrong? I see Heidi.
She said, Heidi. Yeah, no, I you probably are. I don't know how to say it either. So, but the red lens glasses.
My buddy Forrest sent me a couple links to a guy who's making them, who is he can trust, you know, that are reasonably priced and it's legit stuff. It's not the, you know, phony stuff. And
Right.
so I've got these links. If you're interested, I'll send them to you.
You have.
I was looking. Oh, I did. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was looking. I used to have an IR camera. Was it infrared? Is that what it was? Or full
No.
spectrum? Full spectrum camera.
Yeah.
I used to have one.
ultraviolet, full spectrum. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to it. I have no idea where it went, but I thought that's what this little one was that I had, the Sony one that I found, this
Yeah.
little Sony Handycam. But I figured out how to charge it and got it charged up, and it's not that one. So
were you able to modify it at all?
I haven't tried it yet. I'm kind of scared. I don't want to jack it up. I went in there and I pulled files off of it. It has a 16 gigabyte SD card in it, but I can't get the videos to save to the SD card. And it comes with a bunch of AV cables, and I plugged it into my computer, and it automatically told me like it's on the little Handycam in the hard drive, the exe files for Apple or for Mac and for Windows, for this little program. It's called Play Memories Home or something like that. I'm quite sure it's old as shit, because there were a few little files on it. Apparently I tried to use this to, it's a low lux camera, which, I totally don't know how to do that shit. I played around with it a little last night. Apparently I tried to take pictures of an eclipse back in 2012. That's how old this camera is. There were 5 photo files in it of what it looks like an eclipse of the moon, a partial eclipse of the moon from 2012. So this camera is like, what, 12 years old? Right, yeah. It looks brand new, and it's charged right up. It's a little tiny. It's only 5 megapixel. I mean, wow, my God, the video actually looked pretty good on it, but the low lux, the low level, the low lux is really grainy. It looks grainy. Yeah, it looks grainy as shit. So
well, at 5 megapixels, it would.
Oh yeah. But anyway, so I'm gonna look at the links that I sent you that I haven't even looked at myself yet. Most of them. I did see there was a manual about, I have to find like a 3.5 inch it's a 3.5 inch floppy disk, the smaller ones, right? I got tons of those somewhere. Take the inside of one of them out, and then did it need a super magnet? Or just, I've got a super magnet. I actually have a
neocandium, I think is, or neocandium is, I think is that right?
Hell, I don't know, dude. Don't be throwing some big words at me. I'm gonna try. Okay, now I did the shack hack. Remember the little radio?
I have your little radio.
I did that. I went to the Radio Shack and bought one of them little transistor radios, and I shack hacked it myself, and it worked. I did it. Did. I've put a starter in my Ford Pinto wagon, and I put an alternator in. Was it the Chevy Vega I had?
Yeah.
So I'm
so you're handy.
I'm handy. I'm handy. I'm the builder of furniture in this house. Thanks, Haas. The IKEA ain't got nothing on me. And everything I have, you can't even buy furniture that's not in a box and weighs 400 pounds.
And if you do, it's $3,000.
Yeah, and then it's 10,000 if it's already built. And I'm like, screw that. All my end tables and entryway table and everything I built. Yeah. Well, that entryway table weighed 100 pounds, and I had to open the box in the garage where the delivery man pissedly left it, and carry it in piece at a time. But I am the builder of stuff, and I can read the directions, even if they're in Chinese. I just need the pictures, So I'm pretty handy. I can visualize how things are going. I really only just need a picture of the finished product usually, and I can get it. And like my husband tries it, and we have 800 extra screws, and he's like, "Oh, they just send extra screws." I'm like, they don't send 400 of them. Maybe one. Maybe if you're lucky, they send you one. No, they don't
or 2 possibly.
I got a handful of screws and washers and shit. I know this stuff goes somewhere on this furniture, so I just said, "Give it to me, I'll do it." and I've been doing it ever since. I built, do you know those, bunk beds that the bottom was a full size bed and the top was a twin, and they were made out of ours was red pipe, metal pipe. The boys had that. I bought one of these and it said, "This is a 2-person job." And I said, "Robbie, hold my Coke. Watch me." I put that sumbitch together by myself. It took me 8 hours and I had to get creative with chairs and things for props, but I did it. Dang it. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe that's an artifact of my, or maybe I'm that way because of the things that's happened to me. I don't know.
Well, chances are it's just a happenstance of circumstance. If you didn't do it yourself, it wouldn't have got done. And
necessity is the mother of invention. I mean,
exactly.
I had to put in a ceiling fan one time because I couldn't get anybody to help me do it. And I'm like, well, screw it. I'll do it. And I did it. Didn't kill myself either.
You didn't electrocute yourself at all, did you?
No, not a bit. Nope. But I did almost kill myself one time. I bought a little lamp that hangs on the kitchen wall. And it had it had a little lampshade with roosters on it. And I got it at a flea market for like $1. And I brought it home and plugged it in and it electrocuted the shit. I couldn't let go of the plug. I was electrocuted so bad. I thought I was going to die. Oh my God. So now I never buy anything like electrical used anymore. It scared me. No. It cured me of that.
Yeah, I don't do that. I don't antique. I don't believe in antiquing. I don't believe in buying used like that.
There's a place called Treasure Mart here in Kokomo that's like 5 floors of antiques. And when I walk in there, I immediately feel like my psyche is bombarded. I feel like, I've said it before, I feel like a bug zapper in the dark and all of the mosquitoes head towards me. And I'm like, no, I cannot handle it. I don't like old stuff. I want new. Old stuff smells like dead people and mothballs and shit. No.
60% of the time it's got energy on it.
I can.
You take stuff into your house like that, you're just asking for bad juju.
My father used to say he could smell death.
Yeah.
He was psychic as hell, I'm sure. But I mean, and he always said he could smell death, always. And he was never wrong.
Yeah.
So it's weird. All my people are weird. I love them.
Yeah, all your people are weird.
Spice of life. If everyone was normal and sane, this place would suck and be so boring that I would just want to leave.
Right. I got a hair stuck on my glasses somewhere. It's driving me crazy.
Oh, I hate that. They get in because I push my glasses up in my hair. These are just readers. And they get stuck in the hinge and then they start tickling me over somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah. This investigation this weekend is going to be pretty cool. We'll get out here and be able to help this lady, but it's
how far away is it from you?
It's in town. It's probably maybe a half hour west of me. And
so you'll be able to go home afterwards then?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, you better shake that off before you go.
That's right. That's right. I already got my protection stuff squared away. Except for a couple of things. I need to find where in the hell I put them. Because, reasons.
Well, you know what? I really didn't, when I first started paranormal investigations, I didn't really think that much about stuff like that. And, I thought some of it, it was just, psychological on the part of the investigator. You know what I mean?
Some of it was bullshit.
Self-fulfilling, the placebo effect in reverse, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. After a few years of seeing some shit, I'm like, you know what? Even if it is, and I'm just making my mind protect me, that's fine too. We'll just go ahead and cover all the bases.
Right. I just had a conversation tonight that before we got on here about. I was watching Jason on Taps yesterday. Yeah, Jason Hawes, and it's something that we also did when we were in MRIPA, and we did with Pert. We just, if you had teams that were broken up, so you had an upstairs and a downstairs, you had a team upstairs, you had a team downstairs, you wouldn't cross-contaminate the other investigators that weren't with your group with the activity that was going on in that room. So anything that happened once you got done with the investigation and you were doing basically the debrief on the evening, that's when you talk about it.
Right. But we didn't talk about it while we were doing it. And then when we did a rotation, we didn't say, oh, this happened in this room, because we didn't want to plant any
right. Yeah.
subconscious thing in their minds that,
right.
We're human beings.
Right. So subconsciously, if I said that I saw a black mass over in the corner in this particular room to the next investigator coming up, and they claim to see it, is it something that they subliminally created in their own mind to see? And I think that takes the scientific aspect out of it. So, locking it down, don't talk about it until after it's done is something that I think that is kind of, there goes my dog again, is where we're going to kind of start going in the group that I'm in now.
Because we did that in Pert when you and I when we started that, that we did that too. And it makes sense. Yeah. It's like our confirmation requires avoiding cross-contamination. Exactly.
Yep.
And, when Bud was doing the investigation part of our case before he wrote Intruders and while he was writing Intruders, he had asked our whole family, including me, to not read any more books about UFO stuff or watch any movies about it or any other thing. Now, back then we didn't have the internet.
Right. Because you're old as dirt. Yeah.
We didn't have the internet. So it was basically what you could get from the library or see in the movie theater on TV. And I had seen, I had seen the Barney and Betty Hill story. I think it's called Interrupted Journey. I saw it on TV. It was black and white when I saw it, because we had black and white TV. But, and then in 77, Daddy took us to see Close Encounters of the Third Kind on Christmas Eve, because that was a kind of a thing we did when we were older. When we were older kids, and as we got older, we would go to the movies on Christmas Eve. That because we weren't religious, we didn't go to church, so we went to the movies, and out to eat. So, but Bud had asked everyone, and especially me, don't look at it anymore. Now, I had picked up Missing Time in the library just a few months before the June 3083 thing happened. And I never finished that book. I could never finish it. I have a copy here signed by Bud that he gave me later, and I still haven't read it. I mean, just enough to give me a couple of panic attacks that sent me to the hospital, but I don't really feel the need to read it at this point. But I can't think of, I may have read something by Zecharia Sitchin about ancient aliens, Chariots of the Gods. I think I may have read that prior to, but I didn't really recall reading very much stuff about it. I was a science fiction fan with my dad. I mean, I watched every episode of Star Trek growing up, all versions of it. But when I was younger, it was more about spending time with my dad than what was on the TV, because I mean, I was just excited to be able to stay up past my bedtime because Star Trek was on. Dad wanted somebody to watch him and scratch his back, and that would be me. So, I mean, so it was more about a thing I did with my dad than it was watching the show. Now, when I got older, and watched it, I understood more, and I liked Twilight Zone. Rod Serling. You know, I like to watch those when I got older.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, my father was a big Planet of the Apes fan, so I've seen every Planet of the Apes movie and every incarnation from the
Yes.
beginning. I actually had a crush on Roddy McDowell. If anybody out there is old enough to know who he is, he was the original Cornelius in the first
Right.
Planet of the Apes movie. But
Really?
you know what got me? It was the accent. I am a sucker for a British accent. You know, and then I'm kind of unique. Like when everybody had a crush on Captain James T. Kirk, okay, which he was cute. I kind of like,
Bones.
no, Spock. I don't know why. I had a crush on Spock's ugly ass with the pointy ears and the weird head.
Really?
I had a crush on Spock, and then let's see, when it and during the next gen, you know, number one was fine looking. Uh, Jonathan Frakes, he still is an older man. I still think he's incredibly attractive. He's such a handsome older man. Yeah, he aged like a fine wine. But anyway, I mean, he was good looking. But I actually, you know, I lean towards Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah.
You know, there's something about that bald head and that English accent again.
Accent.
Kills me.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for an English accent. And
Mm-hmm.
then, okay, when I was really young, everybody liked, um, you know, the Monkees. Now, you know, because I was a little young for the Beatles, the Monkees and the Jackson 5. You know, I had a big crush on Michael
yeah.
Jackson. I loved the
Yeah.
Jackson 5. I wasn't a fan of the Osmonds. I don't know. I like all my friends like the Osmonds, but I like the Jackson 5. I had a crush on Michael when he was my age. You know, we were the same age actually. But also like the Monkees. I love the Monkees, but everybody loved Davy Jones, the little English guy he was cute with the little haircut. I thought that if I did not marry Mickey Dolenz, I was going to die.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to die. And he made me laugh. Even at a young age, I was not into the way people looked. I was into the way they made me feel, you know,
presented themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
actually,
I'm just weird. Like I've always been different.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you've always been different. Patrick Stewart was trained as a classical actor, so he's always had a great presence. I remember seeing Patrick Stewart for the very first time in Excalibur.
Oh, I remember seeing him in that.
Yep. That's the very first time that I saw Patrick Stewart. Which Excalibur was a great movie, especially in Arthurian fable. I mean, I Knights of the Round Table and the story of the Lady of the Lake and all that. That's my jam. I love those growing up. I still do. If I find it on Netflix or Max or Amazon or Paramount Plus or shall I go on? I'll definitely watch it. But I mean, it was just something about, and Merlin and the Merlin in Excalibur was a little bit over the top for me, the way that it was portrayed. But I did watch the English version of a show that came out mid 2000s called Merlin, and it was a younger cast. The guy that played Giles in Buffy the Vampire Slayer played King Uther Pendragon. Uther Pendragon. So, I mean, it was a good series, but yeah, the accents are pretty cool. One of my best buds lives in Australia, and he doesn't believe in any of the paranormal stuff, but he likes to hear me tell my paranormal stories. Imagine that. But his accent's pretty fire too.
I went to England once. I actually was sent. I went over there to speak to a UFO group at Sheffield University, and was brought over there by some folks, and I stayed at their home, and they were very lovely people. and I went to a shopping mall with the wife of the fella because she needed to get some facial creams or whatever, and she and I we both used the same Estee Lauder stuff. So I'm at the makeup counter and I'm looking to see what kind of stuff they have here that we don't have in the States. And I'm talking to her, and the little makeup lady, she comes up to me and she says, "Are you American?" And I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, say something." And I said, "Why?" And she's like, "I love your accent." And I'm like, "I don't have an accent, you do." And then she's hollering, "Hey, come over here. She's American. Come here and listen to her talk." I'm like, damn.
Right.
So
maybe you can talk because the whole English accent thing, right?
So yeah, I don't know why. I've always been different than everyone. I was different when I was a kid growing up. I was the hippie kind of, but I got along. My neighbors were cheerleaders that lived next door to me and cool kids, and we were friends. So they were friendly with me. But yet I was real nerdy, and I had big Rosanna Dana hair like out to here, and I smoked, and I had a blue jeans jacket that said with the deep purple patch on the back, and you used to make our bell bottoms even bigger by slitting down the side and putting other pieces of denim in them. I had like the biggest bell bottoms on the planet, and I got caught smoking in the bathroom one time because I handed a cigarette under a stall to a teacher. But the teacher came out and she goes, you better be glad I'm a smoker." Back when I went to high school, there was a smoking section outside and ashtrays for students.
Yeah.
But everybody smoked. Hell, I remember my mom taking me to the doctor when I was a kid, and my mom and my doctor were both smoking a cigarette while I was being examined. And my mom coughed, and she goes, "Oh, you really need to give these up." And I remember hearing the doctor say, "They won't hurt you."
Yeah, right.
God, what a different world I came from.
You're only 12 years older than me.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things that you're talking about is exactly what I mean, school in the 70s, that was school in the 70s. You had your hippies outside smoking their cigarettes. You had your preppies walking around with their pom-poms and the football jocks. And you had the nerds.
The only thing I didn't do was drugs. Everybody thought I did. Yeah. All the people that I went to school with thought I was high all the time. Because of my eyes. They called my eyes squinty eyes, and they always thought I was high. And I'm like, okay, whatever you want to think. But I smoked weed one time because everybody else was doing it. And I literally thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
It did. All my friends were giggly and laughing, and they were having a fun. And all I could think about was, oh my God, my mom and dad are going to kill me. I mean, it magnified my anxiety. Almost psychosis almost. I mean, I would highly suggest that if you suffer from PTSD and anxiety disorder, you think twice. I mean, it did not do me any favors, and I promised God that if I survived, I would never do it again, and I never did. And from that point on, when my friends would pass the joint around and I would say, "No, thanks, I don't want any," and they started making fun of me, and I said, "Well, then I guess you're not my friend." So, and they're like, "Oh no, don't be that way." I learned early to stand up for myself. So just say no. I did say no.
I didn't do any of that until I was probably over 25.
I never did it again.
I was a baseball player, football player, sports athlete. I never had time for any of that.
And now that I've quit smoking, I don't want to, I haven't had a cigarette in 22 years. I'm not about to put smoke of anything in my lungs again. I don't know what I'm going to do with you. But, my girlfriends we're all 65 and have arthritis. And she's like, "I'm thinking about trying gummies for my, arthritis pain." I'm like, I'm not doing it. I don't care how much arthritis pain I have. I don't want to feel paranoid and scared anymore. It did not make me feel good.
Yeah.
It had the like the opposite effect on my brain that it did all of my friends. And
Yeah.
that was when I first began
And
to
it,
realize there might be something different about me, because
yeah,
everybody else likes to smoke weed and I can't.
I don't like it. See, I'm too much of a control freak.
Oh yeah, me
And,
too. I mean, I don't want. I
I
don't like
just,
to get drunk because I don't want to be in out
mm,
of. I was always the designated driver. I loved it because I got
yeah.
free cokes all night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got free cokes
But
all night.
see, I would, I mean, I would drink at the bars, but I wouldn't get so. There's only I can count on one hand how many times I got so shit faced that I couldn't drive. But I would just, I mean, even after I hit 21, I was clubbing till about 23, 24. I would just rather drink at home because I can get up and take my fat ass to bed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if he was in the first Dune or not. We have to look that up. Um, but I just don't. I don't have the chops for it. And it's the
Well,
same with me though. It was just, oh my god, what am I doing, and why is this, and why can't I fucking see straight?
where'd you go? Yeah, I mean, I've always wondered. You know, I've always wondered if, I always thought, from that point on, I always thought I was different. You know,
Mhm.
but since we don't have a guest tonight, I can talk about some of my shit, I guess.
Hell yeah.
I always thought there was something different about me because weed didn't affect me the way other people did. I mean, I don't know. And so after I started having experiences, start talking about them, becoming more public and meeting more people, I discovered that a lot of folks who have had experiences like mine are like me.
Mhm.
They're like me. I feel like I found my people. you know, I
Yeah.
really, and when I meet somebody like me, like when I meet them in person, the knowing is almost instantaneous. All I got to do is look in their eyes, and I see me, and I'm like, yes, you're my people, and then I get to know them, and I'm like, yeah, they do weird shit too. They have strange dreams, and things
Yeah.
affect them differently. Like my BFF and I, we've known each other 55 years, and
Mhm.
our lives have paralleled. She's had weird experiences too. She just doesn't talk about them in public like I do, but our lives have paralyzed our weirdness. I mean, we have the same strange reactions to drugs that most people don't. I've had rare reactions to drugs. Now, I've got a lot of allergies, but I'm not talking about allergies per se. I'm talking about reactions. Like, one time they gave me um, when I was trying to quit smoking, they tried to give me some kind of antidepressant that they used to give people to help them quit smoking. This is before I
Yep.
actually quit on my own cold turkey.
Yeah.
It was a serotonin reuptake inhibitor. That's all I know about it. I can't remember the name of the actual drug at this point, but I know that much because I had a rare side effect from this drug that it interfered, and it had a name that long. I mean, I can't even remember what they called it, but it was very rare, and it interfered with my autonomic nerve responses. My pupils were dilating and getting pinpoint at different times. My
Mhm.
body temperature would get real high and then drop really low. My pulse became very irregular and would speed up and slow down. My breathing was irregular and weird. It was affecting my oxygen level, all kinds of strange things that you don't think about,
Right.
that automatically started being affected. My husband took me back to the doctor, and he sat me in the office and watched me for a few minutes, checked my vitals, and said, take her over to the emergency room right now. So he took me over to the emergency room, and they kept me for 12 hours in the ER, part of the time in some kind of special room that had like, heart monitors and stuff in it. There really wasn't anything they could do except watch me and if something stopped, they could, interject themselves in it and try to correct it.
Right.
the drug had like a half-life of 8 or 12 hours or something like that. So it was just going to have to wear off. They put me on an IV,
Right.
but they started me on an IV, and then they just had a nurse that sat in there with me and watched me like the whole time. Somebody was in there with me and my husband until it wore off. And then when I finally came out of it, the doctor told me, don't ever take a serotonin reuptake inhibitor. And I don't. But
Right.
it's a very rare side effect. That doesn't that I can't. It's very rare, but that's the kind of shit that happens to me. If it's weird and rare, it's going to happen to me.
Right. Well, I mean, that's probably why we're friends. I've been written up into the medical, whatever they call it, journals twice now.
I was with when I had Robbie. I got preeclampsia that progressed to eclampsia. My organs failed and my heart stopped twice. He was born 7 weeks early by C-section, and we both left the hospital 7 days later. And this was 45 years ago, so that was quite a miracle. But that was in there, and then I got. Do you remember? It was an upper respiratory disease that went around back in the 90s, and I was in the hospital in isolation for it. I can't remember what it's called now. Shit, never mind. Well, and I have FMD. I have fibromuscular dysplasia in my renal arteries, which I'm fortunate.
Oh, I thought that meant something else.
Fibromuscular dysplasia, FMD, and it's a kind of rare, but maybe not as rare as they first thought it was years ago.
Right.
Mine's only in my renal arteries. It can happen in any part of your arterial, brain, neck, head, heart. And in mine, it grew. Well, the doctor described them during my angioplasty, and he could see them when he went in there in my renal artery. My renal artery had like 7 areas of stenosis where it was like closed up, so they went in and they were little, he called them spider webs. They're little singular cell threads that attach themselves to the arterial wall, and then they pull the arterial wall closed.
Oh, shit.
So he went in and it was 7 balloons. He would open a balloon up and it would pop the thread and the arterial wall would pop right back open. Didn't have to have stents or anything. Now, every year I have to have Dopplers of my kidneys, my main aorta, my carotids, all that. And every 5 years I have an MRA and a CTA of my neck and my head. I'm more prone to have something called SCAD, which is some kind of like coronary artery rupture thingy. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. And they think I was born with that. I was like, my body wants to kill me. So,
wow.
I mean, yeah, I got all kinds of weird shit going on with me.
Right.
So, I don't know if it's all part of the UFO paranormal thing. I don't know.
Well, it would predate 83 date though, wouldn't it?
Well, it would predate 83, but I have had shit happen to me since I was 6.
Right. Which would have been around the time that your sister had an experience, right?
1965. Kathy's experience in 1965.
Right.
Yeah. That was weird. I still don't know the whole thing, but the part that I do know is the part that she talked about all the time. And I know some of it's in Intruders, but it's been so long since I read it, I can't remember. But she took my mom. She was taking my mother to a bingo game. We lived in Indianapolis. She was fixing to drive my mom over to a bingo game in the evening after dinner, drop her off, or late afternoon. This was 65. She just got her driver's license. She was still a teenager. And she took mom, dropped her off at the bingo game, and she was coming back down 10th Street, headed east. And she got close to Holy Spirit Catholic Church. And all of a sudden, she felt this overpowering compulsion to turn into the parking lot of the church. So she did. And she drove around to the back of the church. There's a big parking lot in the back there and some other buildings. Every year they have a 4th of July festival there, so it's and all the carnival rides and stuff. So it's a big area back there. And she said she stopped her car and she looked up, and right over her car was this giant silver disc with colored lights around it. And the next thing she realized, that her whole car was lifting up off the ground and going towards the silver disc. Then the next memory she has is she's in her car and she wakes up in her car in the driver's seat, but it's dark and several hours had passed. And not only that, it was now time to go get mom from the bingo game. So she pulls out of the parking lot and she heads right back to the bingo place where she dropped my mom off. Probably the Sahara Grotto or something like that. Because the Holy Spirit used to have bingo games, so it wasn't there because that's where Kathy went. So it must have been Sahara Grotto. Anyway, she told my mom about the whole thing and everything that happened. And my mom always said, man, she was animated and she was absolutely 100% certain of everything she saw and all that. And, she would tell the story at home from time to time. My family liked to get together on weekends when we all still lived close together and mom and dad were still alive. We'd all, when we all had kids of our own, we'd go to my mom and dad's house and play. We used to play poker. And then as years passed, we got sick of that and we started playing Yahtzee. Mind you, for money. These people were ruthless. But, they take your rent money. They didn't care if you were a family. But, when we get together, even when I was younger, when we get together and Kathy would tell the story and, usually when us little kids, because she was 11 years older than me, and then Bobby and Sherry were right behind me. So it's like two different generations almost. She says, she would tell the story and we would kind of laugh at her or say something, and she'd get pissed off and wouldn't talk about it anymore. It wasn't that we didn't believe her. We just thought it was fun to make her pissed off because she was
right. Yeah. That's how siblings do.
We knew what buttons we could push. Right. Yeah.
Right.
My family, I swear to God, I wish Intruders had been more like my family because these people were crazy and we had so much fun. And we were all funny and we all had a good sense of humor because, if you can't laugh, you'll cry. You know what I mean? That's how we dealt with things.
Yeah.
But, our poker games there's enough material just from our family poker night to fill up probably 10 seasons of a sitcom. I swear to God.
Right. How come we don't have a reality show? Come on.
And, people could see us and how we are, they'd be like, damn, they're just like me. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm known out here now for telling all these crazy stories about my, mark in the backyard and things that I've dreamed and things I've seen and things I can do and all that other stuff.
Right.
But that's just a little piece of my life. I'm just, I just went to work every day and was raising kids and we did all kinds of normal family people stuff. And I really wish that they would show this part of an abductee or experiencer or whatever you want to call yourself. You know what I mean? I wish they would just show this part too, because we're so much more than just our story.
Right.
And if you could see the whole picture of who we are, then you maybe could understand better what we've seen and what we've been through, and maybe even realize you might have seen something too, but you didn't even know it.
Yeah. Well, I swear to God, I didn't see shit in the sky until I met you.
I bet that's not true. I bet you just
that is 100% true. I sat in the what was that? old folks home in Franklin, Indiana. I was sitting there in the back of the bed of the truck, waiting to go do the paper route, waiting on Deanna and the boys to get there because we had split it up because it was so big. And my brother-in-law and I were sitting there, and we were watching things in the sky side by side, and then they dart apart, and then they zigzag back this way, and then they come up, stop, 90-degree out, go back. It was like they were playing tag in the sky. We sat there, I know, for 20, 25 minutes watching them do that. And then all of a sudden, gone.
Did you blame me?
Yes. That damn Deb. just last night, it was so clear last night. I could see where we live is relatively city-like contamination free.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look up in the sky, you see stars, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there was one, and I thought at first it was a satellite, and it was in the west. It was due west of us, over the top of the house, over that way. And it would come up, and then it would slide right, and then do a straight line, then go left, and then go back a little bit, and then go forward. And it was just coming across the sky like that. Finally, it was cold, and we were letting the dogs out, and they were done doing their business. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a UFO. I got to go inside. But, I mean, just little things like that.
How, I wanted to show a couple pictures in here.
Oh, yeah?
Do you remember, how do I put pictures in here again? Do I put it in the overlay? Do I slide it over?
Background.
Oh.
Put it in the background. Not the back door, the background.
Shut up. It didn't go anywhere.
Oh my God. I'm going to show you my UFO to everybody.
Stop it.
Maybe. Hold on.
Drag. Okay. Oh, there it is. It went in. And then this one. I'll dump them when I'm done.
Hold on. Now I gotta figure out how to get our mugs off here.
I think I just click on it, don't I? Is it where I just click on it, says show? Oh, hell no. I see. Never mind.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let's do no.
It's so huge.
We're such noobs.
I thought it was in banners where I put it.
I don't know. Try overlay. Yeah, it's overlay. I'm sorry. There's my UFO. Do not. Oh, you took my banner off.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I deleted mine. I took mine out. Oh, yeah. Whatever. Put your thing back on. I don't give a shit. Hold on.
Why do you hate my culture?
Wait, what? Hold on.
Put it in overlay.
Why is it not doing it? Oh, I guess I got to click on something,
Click add overlay.
Okay.
And then pick your picture.
It's not letting me drag and drop.
No, it won't let you drag and drop. You have to actually click add overlay.
Okay. Well, that's just no fun. Okay.
Technology. What are we going to do?
All right.
I'm going to show it now. Nope, you're going to show it. Okay. Hey, there is no spoon.
I did that with my little arthritic hands.
Yeah.
And I did so many of them that I made a mobile of them.
Really?
Yeah. And when I was doing it, and that's not cheap. That's false graft silverware.
Yeah.
I got it at the Goodwill, but it's good silverware. I tried it with cheap silverware, and that shit just snapped and didn't, it wouldn't work. But this was heavy. You can see how thick it is, actually. And I just focused on it for a minute, and then as soon as it started feeling hot in my hand, I just started twisting. And I twisted it and it got really hot, and everyone could feel how hot it was when I was done. And as soon as it cooled off, we couldn't twist it back.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was doing kind of weird shit like that.
Dang. When was this?
That was just a couple years ago.
Jeez.
And I have, I have arthritis really bad in my hands. I've had 5 surgeries on my hands from 5 different fingers, and then 2 on my wrists. So go figure.
Right.
I don't know why that shit happens, and then I suddenly can do that. So I don't know. I just thought I'd share that.
That's bizarre. What other one did you have?
The other one, I was going to show. Hold on. Desktop. It was a mark that I had on my arm. I woke up with this on my arm one morning, and I have no idea what the fuck it was. It burnt like fire. And I don't have any fingernails, so I have no idea where it came from. But it was strange. It looked like writing or something. It burnt like fire. You know how when somebody gets scratched by like in a ghost hunt or whatever, and the scratches burn? I bet, I know it was like this, you can see how it inflamed it was. It felt like fire. And I woke up with that, and I have no idea it was on my arm. What the hell does that mean? Who wakes up with that? I have no idea who wakes up with the scratch like that on their arm. Would you do that?
Right.
Bizarre. But yeah.
And when did that happen?
That was in November of 2009.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I think we knew each other then, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
And I was one other thing I wanted to show. La, 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 la. Hold on. Where's my stuff?
I don't know that I have any of my paranormal stuff on this computer.
I was going to show you. Well, crap. Because we were talking about crop circles earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
Holding on.
I'm so sorry. I was not prepared.
You're not prepared. You're not prepared.
Shut up.
Well, I can show everyone my Mansfield. This is one in the... Oh, damn it. I put it in the wrong place. Just call me Deb.
Yeah.
Just call me Deb. I want to go to Mansfield so bad. We are looking in Valeska for somewhere in the summertime if we can get it. As soon as we get that, I'll...
Hell, I can't find it. I give up. We'll show them next time.
Here's my picture. Can you see anything in my picture?
I see a bunch of green stuff.
You see the soldier's face in the top right corner. The center mass is a lady in a big ball or bell type dress holding something.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really see. This doesn't do it justice, but behind the lady, you can see a guy sitting on the rack. Oh, you took my picture away.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was deleting mine.
No, it's okay. I didn't want to talk about my picture.
No, sorry.
Why do you hate me? No, it's okay. But that was a good investigation. I'd love to go back to Mansfield just for the simple fact, of Shawshank. But the room where Red wrote etched his little, Mansfield.
Red Rum.
His no,
that's a different movie. My bad.
That's The Shining.
Yeah.
Well, Red scratched. Red was here because who was the guy that hung himself in the room in Shawshank? She's not listening to me. But anyway, that room was actually there. It was at one point. I think they said it was the warden's office, but they used that room for the movie, and there was actual carvings in the wood on the top banisters. But yeah, Mansfield was awesome. What's in Mansfield? Actually, it's Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio. It's a very haunted prison. It's been there since the late 1800s. Multiple deaths. I think at one point it was a Civil War hospital, and the land was owned by a farmer. Then the Civil War hospital era, they took the land from the farmer, and then the state of Ohio actually built the reformatory there. And they actually housed Civil War prisoners there in the prison, but I think it closed finally in the late 90s. I think it was 96 when it actually closed, if I remember right. But they did multiple films there. Kanye West did a music video there, which I'm not, who's Kanye, but anyway, there was a show with Sly and Kurt Russell where they were cops and they were framed for doing bad things, and they got arrested and put into Mansfield, and they filmed that there. But it's extremely haunted.
Oh yeah, it's in Ohio, right?
Yeah, it had. Oh, Mansfield, Texas. Okay. Yeah, audible, disembodied voices, cell doors clanging shut, women screaming, shadows everywhere. I had an EVP where we were in a commissary area where one of the prisoners was murdered. He was a rapist. And it basically said, Mr. Roger will not speak, or something to that effect. I don't like men, and Mr. Rogers, I will not speak. I don't like men, or some kind of shit. And but it was amazing. It was just everyone was like, oh, everyone, if you watch it on TV, everyone's like, oh, you got to go to death row. It's so active. And so we didn't get squat in death row. Everything we got was in I think it's the East Wing. Don't quote me on that, but it's a football field long. So one side of the wing is where we got all of our stuff, and up in the control room. But it was a good investigation, a little expensive, but really good.
Yeah. When we went to, what's the name of the place we went to down in Ohio? The bar.
I didn't go to that. Oh no, that was Kentucky. Yeah. That was Mackey's.
Yeah, Bob Mackey.
It was.
Is it Bobby Mackey? It's Bobby Mackey.
Yeah.
Bob Mackey is the guy who made Carol Burnett's dresses. Anyway, and everybody, we went there and we got some stuff and it was good, but everybody that's gone in there, and like Zach Baggins and all them, we've been in there, and
it's a portal to hell.
It's the demons and portal to hell. That's such bullshit. There's something there. There's no doubt about that. But the feeling that I got when I was in there is whatever was in there was lonely and sad and curious about us.
In the bathrooms.
Especially in the bathrooms, especially the women's bathroom. So I'm assuming it's probably a male. But I didn't feel evil or, demons or anything like that. I just felt somebody was just,
there.
Oh, and I kind of got the thought in my head, the feeling that here comes some more. Jesus Christ. When are they going to stop coming? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the investigators. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But there's definitely has some stuff going on in there, and it'll be I read that they're renovating it. They've got it closed right now for renovations. I mean, this is like the first time they've ever done that, right?
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see if anything changes.
Oh, I bet you they have those guys. I bet you there's at least 2 or 3 construction workers who just walk off. Especially
because sometimes when you stir up stuff like that, you piss them off.
Oh yeah.
Especially if they used to own it, like if they're the former homeowners, don't touch my house. Like I can hear my dad right now. He's probably sitting in the dining room. He's probably sitting in the kitchen chair in front of his window like he did for 30 years, bitching about the yard or something. You need to mow that grass.
Right. Yeah. I wonder why, because at the Crump Theater, I had issues in the bathroom there as well.
Most of the issues I've had at places I've been to is at the bathroom, and it makes me wonder, is it because, when you're sitting there with your drawers down, I think you're more vulnerable than any other time. Maybe it seizes upon the opportunity of your vulnerability and I don't know, because like the bathroom door kept opening up, the stall door opened up when I was at Bobby Mackey's, and I'm like, shut the door.
Right. Yeah. Come on now.
And even when we were at the Davies house and I went to the bathroom, I kind of got this weird feeling like somebody was watching me pee, which was just kind of weird. No, it wasn't you.
Hey, I was garden door. I was guarding the door.
You were door garden, yeah. But
I
don't know. Just maybe it's that we're vulnerable in that moment or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be. I don't know. I know I was standing there doing my business and that stupid janitor room door flew open. It more than almost scared the piss out of me. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I walk around there and that door is wide open, the lights on, and wasn't nobody in there but me. I'm like, come on, man.
I'm really hankering to go do some more investigations this summer sometime.
Oh, I got you. You're welcome anytime you want to. I'll put you up and we'll get you out there. And like I said, I know we're talking about the Villisca house in Iowa, the Villisca axe murder house. We're going to go there. There's one in Ohio that they're wanting to go to. I think that just might be a little bit further than what I want to go for 2 trips over the summer. And there's quite a few stuff going on around the area too that I think we're going to get into, but I'll find out. I want to do the Rhodes and I want to do the Asher house this summer. So
that's Asher. They're both good ones. Those are both good.
Yeah. So if Bips, we don't put something together with them, then maybe you and I can get a group together and we can do that. But we'll figure it out for sure.
And I'm thinking about asking. Do you remember Wendy Piatek?
Yeah.
Do you remember hearing us talk about Tennyson, which is down in your neck of the woods?
Tennyson? I don't know that I do.
Tennyson, Indiana.
Yeah.
Wendy was working on a very interesting case down there, and we got some audio. We called it It. The family called it It. This was beyond an EVP. This was literal disembodied voices, voice. And it would follow them in their car when they would go to the hotel to get away from it. I mean, bizarre. Yeah, and she was working on this. I want to try and get her and see if she would ever be, we probably have to do a phone interview with her. I don't know. She lives here in Indianapolis now, but I'd get her to talk about that because that's a place that I think needs to be revisited. This has been years and years ago. I don't even know. I think maybe I think the man, the father of the house, maybe has passed away by now. But that was fascinating. What I've never in my life encountered that. I mean, EVPs are one thing, but this thing literally, and it would call her a bitch. And then it would make the phone ring and she'd answer the phone and it would be on the phone.
Wow.
I have never in my life seen anything like this. Ever.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So we have to get Wendy on here and see if she wants to talk about it sometime.
Yeah,
I know
definitely.
She thought about writing a book about it. She should. But.
Yeah. I'm wanting to write a little bit of book on the paranormal. I think maybe we'll talk about it and you can give me some pointers.
Certainly.
All right, listen, we're coming to the bottom of the hour. We've been on here for an hour and a half.
And my apologies because I thought I had a guest for tonight, but it's next week. So come back next week while we fuck you. Come back next week when we interview Bob McGuire, also aka Science Bob. This man has an incredibly impressive resume, and he's fascinating to talk to, and he's doing some interesting stuff. It's going to be a great show.
It's going to be a good time. So, all right, you guys, come back, check us out next Thursday night. We have Science Bob on with us for that night, not tonight.
Shut up.
But next Thursday.
Okay, you called yourself Deb, and I mixed up, so we're even.
That's funny. I did that for like 3 or 4 shows. I'm like, hey, everybody, welcome to Midwest Prayer Talk Radio. I'm Deb. No, I'm not. I'm Greg. Damn it. Good God. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Remember, go out there, smash the like and subscribe on YouTube, and go listen to us on podcasts while you guys are at work. And you can giggle at work, and everyone will look at you like you're crazy because, that's what people do. So, all right, out of here. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.